Today we're gonna make El Pastor. This is one of my most favorite tacos, so I've always wanted to create this, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's all gonna be done in the oven. We're gonna turn it into a taco. We're also gonna make this Tomatillo green sauce, and it is so good. This traditional El Pastor, you can see it's usually on a spit, basically spins around, it develops this delicious crust, and this is a master at work. So they essentially carve it off, they throw a little pineapple on there, and it is to die for. So without further ado, let's hop on in, and we're gonna start with the marinade. We're gonna be using pineapple that we're gonna cut down, some bay leaf, guajillo peppers, and chile de arbo. Avocado oil, we're gonna use some white vinegar. For the spices, we got some black pepper, oregano, cumin, garlic, and some honey. This is achiote paste right here. So this is going to add that traditional color that you see from El Pastor. It also provides some smoky, earthy kind of flavor, so it's quite nice. First step in the marinade is we're going to want to rehydrate our peppers. We're going to be using 4 guajillo peppers and 8 chile de arbo peppers. So basically just get like a small pan, add some water. We're going to let this come to a simmer. Add the peppers in, just takes a few minutes. Once they start to soften, remove. Now that the peppers are soft, cut the ends off, and then we're gonna open this. Remove some of the seeds if you don't want this super spicy. If you do like the spice, you can leave the seeds in. Just go through, clean out the peppers, cut them up a bit, set them aside. Next step is optional, but I do like to toast the spices. I feel like it brings out more of the flavors. Add in your black pepper, cumin, oregano, and the bay leaf. Just toss this a little bit. This is about like a medium low heat. Once you start to smell the spices, you know they're about done. Remove, add to a grinder, and then we're gonna grind this up, add to a little bowl, set aside. It's pineapple time, and the pineapple actually plays a big role with the El Pastor. One, we're gonna be using some of the pineapple in the marinade, so it's gonna be flavoring the meat. And then we're also gonna use the base of the pineapple. This is how we're gonna stack the meat to give that spit style. We're also going to be grilling some of the pineapple. It's one of my favorite parts about the tacos is that grilled pineapple. The sweetness balances so nicely with the smoky, spicy El Pastor. You can see here I'm just taking off some of the leaves at the base so that they don't burn in the oven. Trim off the sides of the pineapple. You could discard that. Basically cut it into slices. We want this in slices because we are going to be grilling some of the pieces. And then we'll just cube from there some of the slices. We're gonna want 1 cup for the marinade, so measure that out and then set aside. Grab a blender, then we're gonna add in the 1 cup of the pineapple, 1/4 cup white vinegar, 1/4 cup avocado oil. We're gonna break up the achiote paste, so just break that up into pieces. Add in the spice blend that we grinded up, 1 tablespoon salt, 4 garlic cloves, throw in the chilies that we cleaned up, 1 tablespoon of honey. Give this a nice blend, and you can see this beautiful color. This is what you're gonna get from that achiote paste, so I would not skip on that step. Once you have this blended up, pour to a bowl and then set aside. The prep work is done, so now it's time to prepare the El Pastor. Right here you're gonna see a 4-pound boneless pork shoulder. So pat dry, this is gonna have the marinade adhere better. And then we're gonna wanna trim off any excess fat you see. We're gonna cut this into pretty thin slices, so shoot for about like 1/4 inch. And then we're gonna take a meat tenderizer, just pound this out. This is gonna help tenderize the meat. Brush each side with some of the marinade, add to a bowl. Put all the meat in the bowl, spoon over any excess marinade. Get it in there with your hands, really make sure everything is nicely coated. Cover with plastic wrap, put this in the fridge for about 4 hours to overnight for optimal flavor. Time to build this baby, so grab that bottom piece of the pineapple. Then you're also going to want to grab 4 to 5 wooden skewers. Stick these all the way through, and then this is essentially going to be our support system. Take 1 piece of meat at a time and try to pierce them through all of the skewers. Essentially, this is what's gonna hold it together so that it doesn't fall over. Now, if you do have some trim pieces or pieces that hang over, just grab some kitchen shears, cut those off. Then you could just put those pieces back in the skewers. So essentially just build up layers until we get to the top. Once all the meat's on there, you're gonna want something to basically put on top. So I actually did the pineapple top. I cut off the crown to use that. You can also use like half an onion. Just make sure it's pierced through all the skewers. That's gonna keep it level. You can see here I have some excess marinade, so I'm kind of just brushing that all over the sides. Then we're gonna throw this in the oven at 350. This is gonna take about 1.5 to 2 hours to cook. The trick is you want to rotate this about every 30 minutes. That's going to give even browning on all sides. Also, a little pro tip, make sure you remove all of the oven racks and then the one oven rack put at the very bottom. This way you're going to have optimal room to basically slide this in. It's going to be easier to rotate as well. While that's cooking, I'm going to show you how to make this delicious tomatillo green sauce. We're going to need some mayo, sour cream, limes, shallot, garlic, 4 tomatillos, 2 jalapenos, and some cilantro. So essentially you're going to want to take the skin off the tomatillos. I like to rinse them because they're like a little slimy. Dry them. Remove the skin from a shallot. You're going to cut that in half, set aside. Take a few garlic cloves. I did about 4 or 5. Remove the skin from there. Grab a small little sheet tray. You're going to add the jalapeno, garlic, shallot, tomatillos. And what we're going to do is we're going to broil this. So do that on high, top shelf in your oven. Do that for about 2 to 3 minutes. Remove it. We're going to take the garlic off. That browns quick. Flip them, add it back to broil for about a few more minutes, and it's going to be beautiful. You can see here when we remove the tray, look at the beautiful caramelization, blistering that we're getting. So this is just bringing out all that flavor in the tomatillos and the jalapenos, the shallots. Remove these to a cutting board, and then you're going to want to take the skin off the jalapenos and the tomatillos. Give everything a rough chop. Set that aside. Grab the blender. Throw in 1/2 cup of sour cream, 1/2 cup of mayo. Squeeze the lime juice in there. Then you're going to want to throw in the roasted jalapeno, garlic, the tomatillos, and shallot. Add in 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. Throw in 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon pepper. Give this a nice blend. I like to blend first to combine those flavors, and then I add the cilantro. I feel like the texture works better this way as well. So once that's all combined, throw in 1 cup of cilantro, blend again. Add this to a bowl, and this sauce is best cold, so it's good if you do it beforehand. Throw it in the fridge. It actually thickens up a bit. The al pastor is done, and look at this. Look at the color first off and those crispy bits on the outer layer. So you get that little bit of a crust. You could see the seasoning, that marinade really stuck nicely to the pork. You can see those little fat drippings as well. So it's super flavorful. Let's remove this. We're going to take the sticks out, add to a cutting board, and then we're going to chop up meat. And then we're going to want to make sure that we're cutting this into little pieces. So you could see here, basically just slice, and then you're just going to chop up the meat. Once the meat is chopped up, I like to hit it with a little salt. Toss the meat, and then this way everything's going to be well seasoned. Most taco spots will throw the meat on a flat top just to give it some extra crisp. So this I love doing as well. So grab yourself a cast iron pan or something that could get really hot. Add in some avocado oil, throw the meat in. Basically just don't touch it for a little bit. Let it get some nice caramelization. Flip it and just cook for a little. Once the meat gets a nice char on it, you're going to want to remove from the pan. So set the meat aside. While that's hanging out, we're going to throw some tortillas down on the pan. Wait till they start to bubble and flip. And right here is a little sneak peek. This is a paleo tortilla recipe I've been testing. I do have a few little tweaks, but you're going to see a video soon. So make sure you subscribe. When the meat's in the oven, I like to slice up a white onion pretty thin. And then I'd like to take the pineapple slices as well. Throw those on the grill. All we're looking for is a few char marks here. It's going to bring out the flavor a lot with the pineapple. Once we have some char marks, we're going to take it off the grill. So you can see here, it's going to be a beautiful little topping for our tacos. Speaking of tacos, it is time, guys, to finally plate this. We're going to start with the tortillas. Let's do a layer of that delicious tomatillo green sauce. Add on a layer of the al pastor. We're going to do a sprinkle of the onions. Add some of the pineapple. Top it with a little more sauce, and that is it. I'm telling you, this taco is super balanced. You're gonna have that smoky spiciness from the meat. You're gonna have the sweetness from the pineapple, and that sauce ties it all together. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's do a little taste test. Damn, guys, this is insane. I highly suggest you make this, and I hope you love it as much as I did. Well, that is a wrap on this one. I'll see you in the next video.